Welcome to Peak Talent, the podcast that explores what really makes the difference on a journey to success and high performance. I meet with leaders and athletes to discuss their leadership, lessons learned, and advice. I'm Dani Trudel, and my goal is to bring you insightful conversations that invite you to see your journey and leadership in a new light, while uncovering the secrets and contagious inspiration of surpassing yourself. In this episode, I'm excited to welcome John Limniatis, a true legend in Canadian soccer with a career that spans decades as a player, coach, and director. Beyond his remarkable career, John is a proud father of two daughters and a grandfather. I wanted to uncover the secrets behind his unique journey, what drives someone like John, and what it takes to thrive in soccer. We'll start off by briefly exploring his perspective on the evolution of soccer in Canada. Together, we'll try to discover what it takes to be successful leading on and off the field. John Limniatis is the technical director for the Lac Saint Louis Regional Soccer Association, but his connection to soccer goes much deeper than a role. With over 30 years of experience as a player, coach, and director, his life is a testament to his passion for the game. Born in Athens, Greece, John moved to Canada at the age of 10, where his love for soccer truly took root. He began his professional career in 1987 with the Ottawa Pioneers and became the first Canadian player transferred to a European First Division team. From 1987 to 97, John proudly represented Canada's national team, leaving his mark on the international stage. When he joined the Montreal Impact in 1993, he helped lead the team to multiple championships, including the A-League title in 1994. He was named twice to the league's All-Star team, and he also earned the Defender of the Year award. After retiring as a player, John didn't stop there. He took on leadership roles with the Montreal Impact as assistant coach, head coach, and director of operations. He also coached elite programs for the Quebec Soccer Federation and National High Performance Center before becoming the technical director for soccer clubs Montreuil and Lakeshore, and now for the Lac Saint Louis Regional Soccer Association. John's insights didn't just stay on the field. For years, he was a soccer columnist for the Journal de Montréal. A double inductee into the Canadian and Quebec Soccer Halls of Fame, John was also the first soccer personality recognized by the Quebec Sports Hall of Fame. I first met him in 2021 when I approached him with my, admittedly, wild idea for Pico, a soccer app. I was impressed by his genuine interest and openness to understand and help. I'm excited to share his unique journey with you. Let's dive in. Hello, John. Welcome to the Peak Talent Podcast. And let me
Thanks for
start.
having me.
It's a pleasure. And let me start by congratulating you on your amazing career and the positive impact you continue to have on soccer, on youth, and the sports community here and across the country. I'd like to start with a short introduction to your career and your thoughts on today's landscape.
Yeah,
So
my
you've had,
introduction, my
sorry,
introduction is a bit long. It might take a while, so
I'll do it short.
you're gonna
So
miss things.
you've had an incredible journey from playing professionally in Greece and Canada to representing Canada internationally and becoming a coach and now a technical director. From when you started playing to today, so what's different? And can you explain in simple terms what you see as the current landscape of soccer in Quebec, Canada, and maybe worldwide? And what do you see are the big opportunities and challenges, and how does that impact today's talent?
Yeah, the opportunities are far bigger than ever before. In my time, was very little professional soccer. Very few people went outside of Canada to play. There was only a handful of us Back in the days with the national team in the 80s, Canada brought itself on the map of soccer in '86 when they made it to the World Cup in Mexico, which I was 17 years old, so I kind of missed that out. I started playing on the national team right after the World Cup. But Canada's at probably on the field right now. We're at the best possible scenario that we could be. We could always be better, but it's better than ever. Our men's national team has done very well. We made the last World Cup. We're in the next World Cup because Canada is one of the 3 host countries for the World Cup in 2026. So there's no qualifying, so there's not that stress of getting there. So we're already there. And then you have the women's side, which has been a pillar in Canadian soccer for a very, very long time. I mean, the women have been really good for a very long time. So right now, both of our teams are senior teams because those are the ones that you kind of gauge a little bit how things are in soccer through your national team. And both of our teams, men and women, are in a fantastic position right now, even though on the administrative side, on the governance side, things are not how they should be. We have all kinds of problems, either financial or controversy or all types of stuff that has happened. But on the field itself, both the men's and women's teams are doing very, very well on the world stage.
That's great to hear.
Oh, it's fantastic. And now with the Roses, the new women's team, the new professional women's team, that's going to give even more opportunity to female players that didn't have as much before, because men worldwide have always had opportunities, but it will give female players here in Canada a chance to play in the professional level. CF Montreal is always there as a professional team to look up to. The Quebec teams, the Quebec provincial teams do quite well in comparison to the rest of the country. We have a lot of players that go to the youth teams and represent the national team. So, the opportunity is far greater than ever before.
So more opportunities for the young talent that we have here. So now, if I look back at your career, what do you think got you where you are, and what's your secret? Like, what brought you to soccer, and was there a pivotal moment or decision that shaped that journey?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it today, but I did play, yes. I was younger at one point or another. I was fitter at one point or another. But I came from a culture growing up in Greece, because I'm an immigrant here. I came here when I was 10 years old. So like other European countries, like other South American countries, Asian countries, African countries, we played a lot on the street. It was the main sport that we played when we were kids, completely disorganized, but street versus street or area versus area, totally on our own. Every time we had a chance in school, we played. So for me, it was very natural to be introduced into soccer, because everybody, when I was a kid, played soccer. We didn't really play any other sport. So for me, it was quite easy. I believe, and I don't know if this is actually true, but I believe that people are born with a certain speciality, with a certain, they may find it or they may not find it ever in their lives. But for me, it seemed like soccer was something that was quite automatic. I was very at ease with it. It came quite natural. And it started, like I said, on the streets when I was a kid. When I came to Canada at 10 years old, it started to become a little bit more organized and with teams like we have today. A specific moment, I don't know if there was any specific moment in particular that helped me. I went along, I had a lot of great coaches, I had a lot of people that believed in me, believed in my abilities, believed that I can do something in soccer. So it was a variety of stuff, not necessarily a particular moment. And me playing organized soccer actually came by chance, because when I came here in Canada, it happened to be that a neighbor of mine, which I just met, I didn't even know how to speak English, but somehow we communicated, and he played soccer on a team when he was my age. And I went to his practice to watch, and we were little kids, and the coach, at one point, my friend asked him, my friend, come and play, practice with us, and I went on. The coach said, we don't need enough players this year, because we have a lot. But then when I started to play, he changed his mind quite quickly. Because I had a natural ability, I guess. I was very comfortable with it. I was very confident in playing. So for me, it was a kind of a natural thing that went along, and my talent seemed to be somehow, at least for the area that I was, seemed to be in advance of other players my age. So I quickly moved on from there, playing at higher level as we went along. But I wish I had a specific moment. I don't. I think it was just all bunch of moments
Okay.
put together. Yeah.
So your talent, your natural talent, a little bit of chance.
Well, the chance is more you having the opportunity, you giving yourself the opportunity to be somewhere
Okay.
and to do something.
Yeah.
Of course, there's chance in it. I'm not a big believer in chance, to be honest. I think you kind of meant to be what you're meant to be. You know, for me to go that day to that park with my friend, it was something that was, to me, was meant to be. And it brought me in a situation that I was very, very comfortable in from the beginning. So you have to give yourself opportunities. And then when that opportunity comes up, then, you know, you want to call it chance, you want to call it whatever you want.
You
But you
seize
have
it.
to put yourself, you have to put yourself in opportunities. You have to put yourself
Yeah.
out there in order to get these opportunities that
Yeah.
you build yourself per se.
So that was a young age, but you moved on along to become a professional. You went
Yeah.
back to Greece and then you came back here to play for Canada. So that happened because of your talent, I'm sure. But what
Yeah.
else do you think
Well,
is
I
a
had, like
secret
I said,
sauce that you have?
yeah, like I said, I had natural ability in the sport. I had a lot of, and maybe that's something we'll talk about. I was quite a leader. I was very in my abilities. I worked, especially in the games. I was very passionate about what I did. I loved playing. I think the key to things is
Yeah.
to love what you do and to really be passionate about it.
Yeah.
I could sell passion to other people about soccer. I can sell love to other people about soccer. I have plenty of that. That was never an issue. And I think that's something that probably helped me along the way to get to where I wanted to get. Because if you don't have passion for something, if you don't love something,
Absolutely.
it's very, very hard for it to work out.
Yeah.
And you won't be happy, so it won't work out. So my passion for the game was very, very big. I was very motivated. I wanted to play professional soccer. And I worked at it to get there. I wasn't, you know, I'm not a good example necessarily on training. I'm not a good example necessarily on work ethic other than playing. I don't like saying that, but during the games and during practice, I was just as intense as anybody else. I was just as motivated as anybody else. In fact, probably more than others, and maybe too much sometimes, which got me in trouble. But my intensity level, my motivation, my desire to be good and to show people was good was probably the thing that kind of helped me the most. And people could see that I wanted to play. It was evident from the beginning, even just by my character, my stance, my body communication.
Yeah.
You could tell I wanted to play.
Your
You could
attitude.
tell- yeah,
Your
my attitude. You could clearly know easily from the beginning that I wanted to play and I wanted to be successful at what I did.
You didn't mention this, but I kind of hear competitive.
Oh, absolutely. Too much at times.
Too much? Okay.
Yeah, when I was younger, it was a bit too much. Now I learned as a coach and gotten older that, there's two parts to being competitive. Competitive to win and competitive to get better. I think they kind of go both together, but winning in younger ages has no real importance. It's good, but it doesn't have real importance unless you want to be in the elite level. But competitive in the game, despite winning and losing, there was never a moment that I was not competitive. There was never a moment that I wasn't competitive. It was something that I was at 100% at all times, and sometimes, like I said, a little bit too much.
Okay. So let me come back to you talked about your leadership. So I'm curious, what kind of leadership style do you think you embody, both in your career and in sports? And how have you developed that style over time? And how does it serve you even today?
Look, I was always, I'm not shy, as probably you can tell. I have some charisma, I guess. I have some presence, I guess, when I'm around people or especially something that I know about. Because being a leader is not always easy, because I think you have to have knowledge and experience and intelligence in something for you to be really a leader. So for me, like I said, soccer came very naturally. And one of the things that, like I said before, my character, my attitude was very big in it, because I was not shy. I got in, I did things. I wasn't afraid of doing things. I never sat in the background of stuff. I was always in the front line of things. I always wanted to do things. I always wanted to get better. I always wanted my team to be better, and I would do anything that was needed for me to do so. But the key moment probably in my life that I think it changed a little bit my leadership is when I became a father. I was quite young. I was 23 years old, and I had a little girl at the time. And parenting also came quite natural to me. My ex-wife was very, very scared. She was 21 years old. I had no problem with it. Let's go. Let's do it. It's a fantastic thing. And that's how soccer was.
Okay.
Everything that I do in life is, let's get on with it. Let's go and do it. Let's go do what it is. I'm not afraid of things. I'm not, even though, like I said before, in order for you to do something, you have to have a little bit of knowledge. So I had the natural talent to begin with in soccer. So that kind of brought me into that, and wanting to be competitive and wanting to be good at something. I think it kind of automatically makes you a bit of a leader. And then, like I said, when I became a parent, I had to be a leader. I had no choice but to be a leader as a parent for my family, for my kids, and all that stuff. Couldn't sit back and just allow things to happen. I needed to provide for my family. I needed to be intelligent for my family. I needed to be everything for my family. So that kind of changed a little bit the way I was. I became a little bit, maybe a little bit more subdued in my life. But leaders are coming a little bit different ways. You have those that just are leaders just by example, just by work ethic, not necessarily very vocal, just do their thing and they lead by example. I was a little bit, I led by example on the field, that's for sure. I was very social. I didn't like being average. Because for me being average is not necessarily a good thing.
No.
I wanted to always be above, so I would do whatever needed to be done, and I wanted to bring people with me to do this, because playing a sport that you have teammates, you have to have everybody with you. You cannot necessarily do things only on your own. I was always that. I always brought people with me. I was an inspiration, I guess, in not so much in what I did off the field per se, but on the field it was clear that I was inspiring, and I clearly wanted to do well, and I clearly wanted other people to follow me and to help me and to help them get better. I was very vocal. Obviously, I'm not, like I said before, doesn't take much for me to give my opinion, and I don't like comfort. I don't like, especially in sports. Like in life, you might like that a bit more, but in sports, I didn't like being comfortable. I didn't like just being in the middle of things. I wanted things to always be the best that they could, and I guess that automatically made me a bit of a leader, because I've also most likely, I don't know exactly, but probably 90% or even 100% of the teams that I've ever played for, from 10 years old to professional, somehow along the line I became a captain of the team. So, obviously people saw something that made me a leader. I wasn't always good at it. Sometimes I was a bit too critical of myself, too critical of others, which is not a good thing. But at the same time, it's clear that I wanted myself and the people that I was with to be known as the best that they can be. So that automatically gave me that opportunity. And as you can tell, just the way that I'm talking, that there's no lack of personality. Let's just put it that way.
So I hear a leadership that's based on I'll call it your expertise or your talent, but also your desire to be the best. And so a bit of a performance leadership.
Yeah, and cultural. I think, Greeks in general, I don't know if people can tell by my accent, but I don't look Greek, but I sound Greek. It's cultural as well, right? The Greeks are not they don't sit back. We're hot-blooded people. We're very aggressive per se. We're very passionate about stuff. So culturally, that came along with it. Greeks are not passive. We're not
Yeah.
passive people. So,
Yeah.
and certainly I kind of bring that out. I'm not a
Yeah.
passive person in the things that I do. I'm passive in some things that I may not know that much about. But when it comes to soccer, when it comes to other things, I'm not passive. I don't like the status quo. I don't like things, like I said before, being
Yeah.
just there. And
Yeah.
that
You talked
comes,
about being
yeah,
comfortable with
yeah. And that
discomfort.
comes from culture as well,
Yeah.
from my
So being
background, my
comfortable
cultural.
and not knowing and just leaning in to
Yeah,
get things done.
yeah.
Well, that's great. So now many leaders find inspiration and strength in their personal life, and many athletes draw lessons from sports that resonate also throughout their lives. What parallels do you make between your life as an athlete and now your role in sports leadership?
Well, like I said before, I think one thing that kind of changed my life was like I said, the birth of my
Yeah,
daughter.
your daughter.
Yeah, so that was, at least from a life perspective, that was a lot for me. I drew a lot of inspiration from my father in particular, because he was somebody that worked extremely hard. My father was in the World War, back in the days with Greece. He built his life from a little village of having nothing. Came to Canada to do things and to make himself better and our family better. I take inspiration from my brother. My brother wanted to be a doctor, and he became a doctor and worked very hard at what he did. And then, other people that were with me, other people that are my friends, my true friends, my kids. It sounds a bit corny, but my kids inspire me every day, because you need to be a good person. You need to be something that they look forward to, because you're an example to them, and they're an example to me on the way they go about their life. In soccer, you look at the big stars of every sport, looking, how they played, knowing their history, the Michael Jordans, the Maradonas, the Pelés, whatever you want to call the Messis, the Ronaldos. They were all inspired people, talented people, passionate people, and going through that and watching them play, kind of automatically, I watch these ex-players. I didn't watch them as a fan. I watched them as somebody that wanted to be in soccer, that was in soccer, and watching them succeed to me was a huge inspiration, for at least from a sports perspective. Now, in what I do today, leadership is a very, very important aspect of my work, because I have people that are under me, in the
Yeah.
sense of assistants and other people, and especially obviously players. That leadership is automatic. You have to show inspiration. You have to show. You have to have knowledge. You have to have experience. You have to have intelligence in what you do, and to kind of guide others, help others, put goals for others to work with you. Giving people, I'm not a micromanagement type of a person. I help people more than, or I guide people more than I actually am their boss in telling them how to do things. I've gotten used to it, and I've got experience, and I wasn't like that from the beginning. Obviously, going through life, and it's been
Yeah.
a long time that I do what I do. So I'm quite proud of the fact that a lot of people that I worked with, younger people that I worked with, have moved on to bigger and better things in soccer in particular, which it's something that I'm very, very proud of. People that have passed through me somehow, a little bit or a lot, I've helped them, and I'm always very, very happy for them to move on to do other things in soccer. It's only normal that kind of people, I don't know, you want to call it look up to me, you want to call it believing in what I tell them. That's just simply because of the fact that I played soccer, and for Canadian standards, I was quite successful on the field. So that kind of automatically gives me the edge, I guess, in people to believe a little bit of what I say, or to be inspired for what I say, just because of the fact that they know my background. But I'm a person that just wants to not only do well at the work that I do, but I meet kids I met a girl the other day. I went to an event and I met a girl that I coached. She goes, "Oh, John, you coached me. The girl is married. She has 2 kids. She lives a very good life." That's what I want more than anything else. I want the people that I've encountered or encountered me in order to be better at what to do, not only at that moment, but further on. I'm not the type that I will step on people, use them in order for me to go to a higher level. I just like to help people that are around me, to guide them as much as I can. If they have questions, to give them whatever experience I have or whatever knowledge I have to that. And for me, it's very, very fulfilling. So people get better and progress. And it's the same thing with players. Players are a little bit intimidated by me. I don't know how. I intimidate people a bit too much sometimes. But it's because I want them really to succeed at what they do. If they chose to be in soccer, succeed in what you do. And it doesn't mean you becoming a professional player. It just means to succeed at everything that you do at that moment. If you're going to get better, make sure. If you want to get better, make sure you get better. I will help you get better. But it's up to you at the end of the day. But I will guide you. I will help you to be better, not only for that day, but for your whole life.
For your life, for your life. I hear parallels in how you tackled your sports career and your leadership is really leaving a mark and having an impact.
Oh, absolutely. At least I hope. I hope I gave something back, because that's another thing that's extremely important. A lot of people helped me along the way. People say, well, Canadian soccer is Canadian soccer. Your friends of mine in Greece and whatever, they don't believe that we have soccer here to some extent. But soccer here on the amateur level is actually quite good in the organizational part, in getting kids to play. I think we're quite good at this stuff. And I owe the country, I owe the people that helped me, I owe my parents, I owe my coaches, I owe Canada for what they've done for me. So a way for me to repay that back is to be the best player that I could have been, the best coach I can be, the best leader I can be. That's the only way I can repay them and make sure that at least the country in soccer, I do whatever I can to make it better. Because I'm upset when other people in other countries make fun of Canadian soccer. I don't like it. So I want to make sure that part is gone.
Yeah.
People believe in the abilities of Canada in the soccer world.
You and I were first introduced in 2021 through my crazy project, sports app, and now I'm doing global development programs that include mental prep for youth athletes. And I've known you to be very passionate about sport or soccer and to be very eager to help. So that's who you are, someone who supports others.
That's for sure. Like we met, I didn't know you, but I can clearly see that you're extremely intelligent. I think your family should be very proud of you, because you seem to be someone that works hard, and you're certainly far more intelligent than me. But if somebody helps me, or if somebody asks me to do something, if I can, I will. And even a lot of people say, John, why don't you ask for money to do this? Or if somebody wants your knowledge, why don't you charge for your knowledge? Unfortunately, I'm not like that. If somebody wants to give me money for doing things, super. But I'm not going to ask, and I'm certainly not going to not do something because somebody doesn't, pay me back or give something to me in return. And that was the case with myself. If I could help you, why wouldn't I help you? I don't see a reason why I wouldn't help somebody that I think they're doing something that I like, or I think it's very good for soccer and for anything else. If I didn't like what you did, or I didn't like the products, or I didn't think it was right, then I wouldn't help. But it's clear when things that I like and people are trying to do to make it better, I have absolutely no problem in helping them on whatever they may need.
That's a great quality.
Well, I like to think I'm a good person. Yeah, and some people don't think
quality.
so. But
Now tell me, what now on your side, who or what helps you personally to stay at your peak?
Well, one is my experience throughout things. I think that helps me a lot. The knowledge that I've gotten over the years, that's something that helps me in a lot what I do. And as we know, knowledge in your domain, experience in your domain, play a huge role in what you do within your job. Trying to be updated on things that are happening, not to kind of stay, like I said before, status quo and stuff. I give coaching courses which also allow me to learn from these coaching courses, because those coaching courses also evolve, also change, also become modernized or to the present. So that even the courses that I give kind of help me get better. I watch soccer, I follow soccer, so all of the stuff kind of helps me progress or continue to progress in what I do, which in return allows me to help those that ask for my help or want my help for what they do specifically in soccer. I'm not very knowledgeable, and I don't mind saying it, in other things outside of soccer. But soccer is something that I know a little bit about, and I try to give as much as I can to whoever I believe is going to make things better. I'm very harsh in the people that do not have the passion or the motivation, or do things for not necessarily good reasons. I have no problem expressing myself in that, and I will not help anybody that doesn't want to make things better. It's just not going to happen. My personality doesn't allow me. Unfortunately, I'm not the best person in the world, but it doesn't allow me to help people that are not in it for the good of what it's supposed to be.
So your passion continues to feed you in getting
Absolutely.
better and continuously learning and giving back by teaching others.
Yeah, and passion for me for soccer is never going to end. It's never going to end.
Now, I'll change the topic a little bit. Is you've been inducted into multiple times in the Hall of Fame. You've been honored for your amazing contributions to soccer. What do you think sets apart players and leaders who achieve lasting success in their fields? Are there habits or principles?
I think we've said all of them already. The passionate part, the motivational part when it comes to something that you love to do. I think all of those things have not helped me. Obviously, I've done something that people liked. I mean, I played professionally for 15 years. I played on the national team for a long time. So there was something there that other people saw and liked and chose me to be in it. Obviously, I'm not shy to say that a lot of it had to do with myself. Obviously, being able to play, being what they call a student of the game. I always like to learn the intelligence of the game all the time, to be the smartest player I could be. So all of those things maybe set me apart than some others, because some others kind of like saying these things, but they don't actually believe them, or they're not actually very good at them. To be able to do them. A lot of people say, well, I want to go play for Real Madrid, but maybe just not capable.
Yeah.
You might be able to be a professional player, but you're not capable. I'm not capable of playing Real Madrid. I wasn't capable of playing for Barcelona. I was good at where I played, but I don't know if I had the ability to be better or to be even on a higher level than this. But there was something there, and a lot of it had to do just by my attitude and my culture, and just my belief in wanting, like I said before, to be good. The fact that I'm in the Hall of Fames that I'm in is incredible to me, because you hear a lot of people say, I came from a street in Athens playing with my friends soccer, moving to Canada and being in the Canadian Hall of Fame. I don't take that lightly, because playing for my country, which I have two countries, but playing for Canada to me was amazing. It was amazing. I didn't take that lightly at all. I tried to represent the country the best that I could. And just the fact, like I told you earlier, just the fact that I wanted Canada to be known or to become a soccer country was the number one thing in my head. I didn't want people to believe that I didn't know how to play because I was Canadian. You understand? And to me, that was a huge motivation. Like, who are you that just because your country has soccer all these years that you think that, that you can play better than me or be better than me? I just didn't accept those type of things. And I tried to show them. I didn't sit back. I tried to show other people this was the ability of us. So being in the Canadian Hall of Fame is amazing. Being, of course, in the Quebec Hall of Fame was good. But the thing that I'm probably it's crazy when I was inducted or I was nominated, which was crazy for me, is that I'm in the the Panthéon de Sports du Québec, which is the Hall of Fame for all sports in Quebec, which
Yeah.
to me was like, wow. Like when somebody told me that I would be inducted into the Quebec Sports Hall of Fame, me, like I was in shock. Not so much because I was the first soccer person in it. There was nobody else in soccer. And, you know, to be in the same Hall of Fame as Guy Lafleur, as Gaëtan Boucher, as whoever else, there were the huge athletes, Beliveau and whoever else in hockey. I'm in the same Hall of Fame as them, and to me that was incredible. I'm not shy to say it, you know, that
It's
I'm
very,
in the Hall of
it's
Fame.
very, it's a lot of pride, a lot of
Yeah,
pride
it,
in
to me was like,
accomplishments.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a Quebecois, but not a born Quebecois either.
Yeah.
You understand? I came here in this country, and for me to be in this
Yeah. To be
was, you
internalized.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing. And somehow, for all the things that I've done, which again is the passion and all that stuff, somehow it got me there.
Yeah.
And there must have been something along the way that was good that I'd done for me to get to that point.
Yes.
But you know, a lot of it's hard work. People have to work.
Yeah.
You can't
Hard work.
achieve anything without putting time.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't the hardest worker, again, off the field, but I would never miss training. I would go early. I would leave late. I would try to do as much as I could for the time that I was at training. I would try to do as much as I could for the time that I was in the games. So you can't do that. And a lot of people, and I know maybe I'm rambling on, but a lot of people don't know what intensity is. A lot of people don't know what passion is, unfortunately. And until they find it, because all of us have it somewhere in us, until they find it, I think they'll be better and far more productive in the things that they do, because that's the driving force behind everything else.
Absolutely.
Everything that you do. If you don't have passion,
Absolutely.
if you don't have, if you don't have the attitude for it, don't do it.
No.
Go do something else.
Now, can you tell me in one word, what do you think is your legacy, the legacy you're leaving to the future generations?
That I had passion for what I did. I think that's the biggest thing. I loved what I did. I loved what I did. I loved soccer. I loved playing for teams. I loved being with my teammates. I love representing my country in the sport. I just loved it. I looked forward to training, and not so much for the training part, like I said before, but the camaraderie, being with other people, working together to do something, making myself better. And I don't think I've ever missed a practice in my life. Of course, that I was healthy to practice, but I've never missed a practice. Like, it wouldn't be that I was injured and I wouldn't show up to play. No, I would be there anyway. I was in it, and it was 100%.
I hear passion, love, commitment.
Oh, absolutely. Well, passion and love for something that you do automatically comes with commitment, because you have to be committed in order to do these other things. And I think love for something makes you committed. I think having the passion for something makes you committed, because you cannot be passionate or love something if you don't have commitment. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to work.
I want to talk about the future. So soccer is constantly evolving, and I know we call it football elsewhere. Now, how do you think sport can evolve to better prepare the next generation of athletes and leaders, and maybe introduce new initiatives or technology or whatever, so that we can improve athlete development?
Well, I think, look, education is number one. I think people need to, all of us need to continue to get educated. Those that are not educated at all in soccer, if they want to be involved in soccer, to start. For all the people that are in it, to continue to evolve by especially science. I think science is a big thing that's in sports now more than ever. When I played, we hardly had any of that, in the sense of knowing the volume of work, really sitting down with somebody that's a psychologist in sport. We didn't have much of that. We had very little of that. And right now, the science part of sport and anything in our lives has become so integrated into what I do. So, or what sport is as well, right? Or what anybody does. And, you know, people that have gone through it in the past and been players, have been coaching, you know, getting into it, continue to go into it, because a lot of people kind of leave it and they do not pass on maybe the things, their experiences there and all that stuff. So people that have been in it to continue to be in it, and that's one of the biggest difficulties that we have with young players is that at one point or another, they kind of stop and then don't get themselves involved in what they did. So that's a big challenge in our country, to keep people involved for as long as possible in the sport. And we just need to learn from other places, learn from people that are advanced in something. You know, there's countries that in something they're advanced more than somebody else. I mean, you look at the Germanys, you look at France, you look at England per se, you look at other countries that soccer has been in their system for their entire existence.
Yeah.
So we need to get things from them. We need to look into it. We need to bring what's necessary back to our country. So we need to continue to educate ourselves and educate the ones that are with us, that want our help, that need our help, to do it. Canada has a lot of challenges, and one of them is the size of our country. Just the area of our country makes almost everything challenging. Competition is challenging because it's very hard for a player in Quebec or a team in Quebec to compete with the best other teams in the country because we're so far apart.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. It's very time consuming to really get everybody at the top level to be together in the top level, especially in youth.
Yeah.
Because country is big, it costs money, it costs time. It's all of that stuff. People being in soccer that shouldn't be in soccer. People that think they know but they don't know. The attitudes of people that they, come in. We don't need that type of stuff. We need people that want to learn, that want to get better, that want to help others get better. And I think that's the same for everywhere. But our country has challenges, and one of them is the financial part in sports. You look at the United States in comparison,
Yeah.
who their culture is to put money in sports. Their
Yes.
culture is to give in sports. Ours is not so much like that. It's getting there, but it's very, very difficult to assemble money or to gather money in sports in Canada in general. I think that needs to change because you know better, Danny, than I do. Sport to me is something that somewhere along the line has to be in with everybody.
Yes.
I think it's such a great tool
Exactly.
for life.
Absolutely.
Music, I mean, it's not sport, music is
Yeah.
another great thing for life. So some sort of an art, I guess, or some sort of a sport, to me is extremely important. It's the same with my kids. I don't care what sport you play, but play a sport. I don't care if you're good at it. I don't care what it's like. But to me, sport is something that's very, very important as an experience in people's lives, because it has so much in it. And like I said, you know this better than I do. I know more from an experience perspective. I mean, soccer to me, or sport to me, is a huge part of life, because it gives you, all kinds of tools and all kinds of experiences for whatever you will do in your life.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm already at my last question, John. So to wrap up, I'd like to leave our audience with a reflection. What's one insight or one thing you'd like them to reflect on when it comes to their own athletic or leadership journey? What's an advice or something
Yeah.
that you'd like to pass on?
Well, I think one of the key words there is to reflect. I think whatever you do, take the time to reflect upon it. Take time to put goals down, to kind of see where you're at. Be honest about what you're at and where you want to be and how you're going to get there. Get knowledge from others, because not everybody knows that, but get knowledge from others to be better. And try different things to find maybe that one or two things that you're really, really passionate about, that you really, really love to do. And I have something that I've written here that I'm proud that I kind of made it up. I haven't seen it anywhere else. Maybe it exists somewhere else. Is that and I said it to somebody the other day, and I said, they said, wow, that's pretty cool. Don't ever underestimate your potential. Don't underestimate what you're capable of doing. And if you find something that you have potential in it, don't underestimate it. Take it to the extreme of you can, because I'm not the type, like I said before, I'm not the type of person to get into something and not do it the best that I can. I just won't do it. I will not get into something that I don't have the passion for to make it better. I won't, whatever it may be. So, and like I said, I think a key thing or key sentence for me is don't underestimate the potential that you have within yourself.
Well, thank you so much, John.
It sounds like very philosophical, right? The You know, the Greeks were philosophers. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. And
Just philosophers.
we quote them, we cite them all the time.
Well, look, we're pretty cool.
Yeah,
We're a bit,
absolutely.
you know,
And
we're a bit screwed up, but we're pretty cool.
aren't we all?
Oh, well, Greeks are a bit more than others.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to answer all my questions. And I certainly highlight the fact that for you, soccer is life
No, absolutely.
in all aspects.
Absolutely. It's kind of made me
Who you
how I go
are.
about my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think me, in my life and the way I was, went into soccer, and soccer, and the soccer part went into my life. So for me, it's you know, other than my kids,
Yeah.
there's nothing bigger in my life than sport itself, and specifically, of course, soccer.
Soccer. Well, thanks a lot. I'm gonna close the call.
Thank you.
Conversing with John Limniatis, it's clear his journey is far from ordinary. Shaped by soccer from the streets of Greece to Canada, where his talent quickly earned him a spot on the team. The rest, as they say, is history. John is charismatic, confident, and full of humor. His success, a mix of natural talent, deep passion, hard work, and a fearless embrace of challenges. In sports terms, he's a performance leader, setting high standards and inspiring others. Fiercely competitive, sometimes intense, but always driven by the desire to improve and succeed. Becoming a father at a young age gave him a deep sense of responsibility, while maturity further evolved his leadership to focus on guiding others to grow and thrive. John thinks Canadian soccer is at its best today, with better opportunities for both women and men. To better prepare the next generations, he believes there's a need for emphasis on education, leveraging sports sciences and psychology. His advice: take the time to reflect on your goals, learn from others, try different and new things, and find your passion. But above all, don't underestimate your potential. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Peak Talent. If this conversation inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our goal is to bring you insightful conversations that shed new light on your journey and leadership, while uncovering the contagious inspiration of surpassing yourself.